As the world becomes warmer as a result of climate change, this change will impact wildlife as well as humans. This impact on some forms of wildlife may have been largely overlooked by the general population. However, the public may need to change some of their traditional activities if they're going to actually cope with these changes. There's been a lot of focus on the impact on farming of a changing climate. Some serious concerns about various species of wildlife on land going extinct as the earth warms up. Humans do also exploit wildlife in the oceans for a large part of their diet. This diet may need to have to change along with the climate. Fish in the oceans generally rely on smaller forms of life like krill and plankton to survive. These smaller life forms inhabit very specific locations in the oceans related to sunlight, mineral content, and ocean temperatures. This will mean that as the ocean temperatures change, locations where the food sources are available for the fish will also change, to result in the fish moving to follow their food. Fish will also be seeking an environment to which their metabolism and even their breeding has been adapted, so food might not be the only driver for the migration of fish. In the northern hemisphere, as the oceans warm up, the fish will tend to be found in water further to the north than they've previously been found in, seeking where the water is now a similar temperature to what they're used to operating in, with the reverse process taking place in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't mean that all parts of the oceans will suddenly become devoid of fish entirely. Instead, if one species moves further north, it's likely to be replaced by another species also moving north, normally one living further to south and will be moving in to replace them. One exception to this is the water around the tropics. It may become too warm for many of the species to inhabit. There may only be a few species able to thrive in these locations, at least until some of them adapt to the new conditions. This migration of fish could seriously impact the local fishing industry, may be relying upon catches of fish like mackerel, cod, whiting and herring. They may now need to adapt to have a viable future. In some places, there may be local fish conservation attempts limiting the amount of various species of fish being caught. Unlike the earlier issues of overfishing problems, these measures are not going to have a limited impact on fish migration-driven climate change. Instead, fishermen may have to either change where they're catching their fish, or in turn, if they change that, in turn will increase their fuel consumption and prices. Or alternatively, fishermen may need to switch which species of fish they're attempting to catch. This potential switch in target species will then feed through into purchases by the local population. So if people are expecting to have fresh fish of one species caught on a regular basis as part of their diet, they may need to switch to a different species as the oceans warm and their preferred species becomes harder to catch. Another fish is instead easier for the fishermen to catch. Many populations relying on fish as a major part of their diet, this could have a significant impact, especially on coastal communities, and people may need to be educated in the potential change in fish which may be caught locally in the future, particularly as people are relatively slow to adapt to change in traditional foods in their diets. The migration of fish species either northwards or southwards is going to be the most common reaction to changes in ocean temperatures. It might not be the only one. Instead of fish travelling further north to inhabit cooler waters, some fish may instead choose to live at lower ocean depths to resolve any temperature differences. Again, could seriously impact on how fishermen are able to catch these fish, requiring either adaptation in nets and fishing methods. In addition, while fish often have the option of relocating in reaction to climate change, it isn't always an easy option for the food obtained from the oceans. There's always been a major issue in Australian waters with abalone, a type of marine mollusk, basically become unviable in parts of Australia as a fishing resource. But the decline in abalone has been replaced to a certain extent by an increase in king prawn numbers, and this kind of transition which may occur in many areas of the fishing industry in the near future.